made Juan Verdades lie, he will give him uh,
His
his
ranch,
field.
he will take the ranch of Don Ignacio. But if the opposite happen,
Uh, but if he lied, he will take the field of Don
the ranch
Ignacio.
of is the ranch of Don Arturo. Okay. Thanks so much, Ahmed. Here.
Yes.
Who are the characters of the story? Who are the characters of the story? Adam.
Yes, mister.
Yes. Who are the characters of the story?
Don Ignacio,
Don Ignacio. Ignacio.
Don Ignacio,
Yes.
and Juan Verdades,
Yes.
and Don Arturo, right?
Don, you can say yes, Don Ignacio, Don Arturo, Juan Verdades, and Araceli. Araceli is the daughter of Don Arturo. Okay.
Mister,
Yes,
open the
sir. What? What, Adam?
closed. We cannot chat with anyone.
Okay, it's closed. Okay, I open it for you. Thanks, Adam. I'll open the chatting for you. Don't worry. But please don't use chatting room at all the time to avoid wasting our time in our sessions. Okay. As we knew yesterday, there was a challenge between Don Arturo and Don Ignacio. And we said that Don Arturo challenged Don Ignacio that he would make Juan Verdades to tell a lie. And if he succeeded in making this point, that if he succeed, if he made the Juan Verdades to tell a lie, he would take the ranch of Don Ignacio and the apple tree of El Mandanoria. And if he failed, Don Ignacio would take the ranch of Don Arturo. When Don Arturo's wife knew about the bet, about the challenge, what did she do? She started to cry because she was sure that they would lose their ranch, because she was sure that Wonder Daz won't tell a lie forever. So Don Arturo's Araceli, Don Arturo's her sister, Don Arturo's daughter, who's called Araceli. Again, Don Arturo's daughter, who's called Araceli. Araceli had a great suggestion or a great idea for her father, Don Arturo. What is it? She told her father that he could tell Don Ignacio that they would whitewash their house, and this would take about 2 weeks. So she suggested for her father to stay at the house and the ranch of Don Ignacio. Why? To be close to Juan Verdades. We know also that Araceli will fall in love with Juan Verdades. We know also that she would ask from Juan Verdades all the apples of El Mandano area to avoid making our story clear for all of you. Let's listen together to know more details. If you can't listen, please tell me.
The other ranchers laughed when
You can hear?
the other ranchers laughed when
You can hear,
Yes.
Adam? Okay.
Yes.
I play the sound. Okay, I play the sound again. Ahmed, can you mute yourself, please? Okay, be ready to listen, please.
the other ranchers laughed when they heard that. "Oh, Don Arturo," they said, "now we'll see just how sure you are that you're right." "As sure as I am of my own name," said Don Arturo. "I accept the bet, Don Ignacio, but you must allow me the freedom to try anything I wish." The two friends shook hands, and the other men in the group agreed to serve as witnesses to the bet. The gathering broke up, and Don Arturo and Don Ignacio rode confidently away toward their ranches. But as Don Arturo rode along thinking of what he had just done, he no longer felt so sure of himself. When he arrived home and told his wife and daughter about the bet, his wife began to cry. What will we do when we lose our ranch? She sobbed. And Don Arturo began to think he had made a terrible mistake.
For this page, the other ranchers loved when they heard that. Oh, Don Arturo, they said. Now, now we will say, now we will see just how sure you are that you are right. They told that they aren't sure if he can succeed if he can succeed in making one Verdades to tell a lie or no. So they said, now we'll see just how sure you are that you are right. As sure as I am of my own name. These words were said by Don Arturo to the other ranchers. And he said, I accept the bet, Don Ignacio, but you must allow me the freedom to try anything I wish. He asked him to give him the chance, the freedom to do anything that can help him to make Juan Verdades tell a lie. The two friends shook hands, and the other men in the group agreed to serve as witnesses to the bet. The gathering broke up, and Don Arturo and Don Ignacio rode confidently away. It means in a trust way towards their ranches. But as Don Arturo rode along thinking of what he had just done, he tried to think about the idea, the plan that he can do to make Juan Verdades to tell a lie. He no longer felt so sure of himself. When he arrived home and told his wife and daughter about the bet, his wife, what did she do? His wife began to cry. Why? She told him, what will we do when we lose our ranch? She sobbed. And Don Arthur began to think he had made a terrible mistake. As I told you, for Don Arthur's wife, she was sure that Juan Verdades will not tell a lie forever. So she was worried about losing their ranch. Let's listen together to the next page. Please lower your hand, all of you, please. Lower your hand. Please lower your hand. Yes, Muhammad, you have a question? Mahmoud, lower your hand, please. All of you, lower your hand, please. Okay, Ryan, you have a question?
No, I want to answer.
Okay. Just please lower your hand.
Mis-
When we
Mr.
finish
Wood,
explaining, I'll ask a
listen.
question. Yes.
Okay. Don Arturo told to Don Ignacio that he will try to make
Juan
Juan
Verdades. Yes.
Verdades to tell a lie.
Yes. This was the bet
But
of the challenge
who
between
started,
them.
who started this bet?
Don Arturo.
Why he said this? Why he started this bet?
Because Don Ignacio told him that I have the one who is honest, Juan Verdades, he always didn't tell a lie. But Don Arturo told him that he could make him tell a lie.
Okay.
But yes, again, it's that if he won in making Juan Verdades tell a lie, he would take the ranch and the apple of Ilmanzano from Don Ignacio. If he won. But if he was Don Ignacio would take the ranch of Don Arturo. Okay?
Okay, if Don Arturo made Juan lie, he will take the ranch of Don Ignacio and
The ranch and the apple tree. Okay?
and Juan
If the
Valdez.
object happened, yes, if the object happened, Don Ignacio would take the ranch of Don Arthur. Okay, wait. Let's complete lesson, please.
But his daughter, whose name was Araceli, and who was a very bright and lively young woman, just laughed and said, "Don't worry, Mama. We're not going to lose our ranch."
Araceli is the daughter of Don Ignacio. Can highlight for this character, please? Araceli, the daughter of Don Ignacio. And he described here by saying, about his daughter whose name was Araceli and who was a very bright and lively young woman. Just laughed and said, don't worry, Mama. We are not going to lose our ranch. What was her plan? Let's listen.
Araceli suggested to her father that he make up some excuse for them all to spend the next 2 weeks at Don Ignacio's house. If we're staying on Don Ignacio's ranch, she said, we'll surely discover a way to come out the winners.
So the idea or the plan of Araceli, what was it? Yes, Mahmoud. What was the plan of
Mr.
Araceli? Yes.
That Mr. What Herceli is the daughter of Don Ignacio.
Don Arturo.
You said Don Ignacio.
No, Don Arturo. Can you listen again?
No.
Okay, I said what? I read this part to understand. He said, Araceli suggested to her father that he make, her father, he means here Don Arturo, okay? That he make up some excuse. What is it for them all to spend the next 2 weeks at Don Ignacio's house? Don Arturo spent 2 weeks at Don Ignacio's house. Okay, Mahmoud?
Okay.
And what happened if this happened? She said, if we are staying on Don Ignacio's ranch, she said, we will surely discover a way to come out the winners, to be the winners. How? She will try to be close to Juan Verdades. And she asked from him to bring all the apples of the Mandalorian. This will know in the next session. Okay? And Juan Verdades will accept her request and brought for her all the apples of the Mandalorian. When Don Ignacio asked him, he tried at first to tell a lie, but he imagined that he was talking with Don Ignacio. He would put a jacket on the tree and he imagined what he would say to Don Ignacio, what he can tell him about if you ask him about all the apple of the Mandalorian. We know this part in the next session. Okay, let's go step by step. Okay, Mahmoud.
Okay.
You understood who's Araceli?
Yes.
Yes, who's Araceli?
She's the daughter of Don Arturo.
Don Arturo's daughter. Don Arturo's daughter. Okay. So please highlight for this paragraph. Highlight for this paragraph. The excuse or the plan of Araceli that she told to her father to tell Don Ignacio to tell Don Ignacio what happened for their house, as she said here, or as the leader said, that they will spend the next 2 weeks at Don Ignacio's house because there are some workers who will come to whitewash the walls of the house. Okay, highlight for this paragraph and for the next one after listening. Let's complete lesson.
The next day, Don Arturo rode to Don Ignacio's ranch and told his friend, my men are mending the walls of my house and giving them a fresh coat of whitewash.
So the excuse that Don Ignacio, the excuse that Don Arturo told to Don Ignacio that he said, my men are mending the walls of my house and giving them a fresh coat of whitewash. As we said, what does it mean by whitewash? Who can tell me whitewash? What does it mean? Whitewash, yes, Mahmoud, okay. Yes, what does it mean, whitewash?
It is a paint.
Yes, painting. It's that you paint the house or the walls of the house of Don Arturo. So the question here, what was the excuse that Don Arturo told to Don Ignacio to be able to stay at his house? Who can answer? Okay, Abdurrahman, can you answer?
Yes,
Yes, what was the excuse that Don Arturo told to Don Ignacio to be able to stay at his house?
that his men are mending the walls of his house and giving them a fresh coat of whitewash.
Yes, excellent, Abdurrahman. So that we can say that Don Arturo told Don Ignacio that his men were mending the walls of his house and giving them a fresh coat of whitewash.
Mister,
Yes.
highlight what?
Highlight for this paragraph, this one, okay, and the next paragraph also. Tell the word whitewash.
Thank you.
Okay, this also tells the word whitewash. And let's complete listening.
It would be more convenient for my family to be away. Could my wife and daughter and I stay at your house for a while? Of course, my friend, Don Ignacio answered. Feel perfectly free. That afternoon, Don Arturo and his family moved into Don Ignacio's house, and the next morning Araceli rose at dawn, as she always did at home, and went to the ranch kitchen to prepare coffee.
As the word dawn, this one, the word dawn, it said Araceli rose at dawn. This one, the word dawn, it means the beginning of the day, or the morning, I mean. The beginning of the day. This meaning of the word dawn. The beginning of the day. What did she do for Juan Verdades every morning? Let's listen.
The foreman, Juan Verdades, was already there, drinking a cup of coffee he had made for himself and eating a breakfast of leftover tortillas. She smiled at him, and he greeted her politely. Buenos dias, señorita. And then he finished.
This word is a Spanish word. Buenos dias, señorita, means good morning. Good morning, miss. Okay, this is the word buenos dias. Buenos dias, señorita is a Spanish word. It means good morning, miss.
His simple breakfast and went off to begin his day's work. That night, Don Arturo and his daughter made up a plan. Araceli rose before dawn the next day and went to the kitchen to prepare coffee and fresh tortillas for the foreman. She smiled sweetly as she offered them to Juan. He returned her smile and thanked her very kindly. Each morning she did the same thing, and Juan Verdades began to fall in love with Araceli, which was just what the girl and her father expected. What Araceli hadn't expected was that she began to fall in love with Juan Verdades too, and looked forward to getting up early every morning just.
So for the plan of Araceli, her plan is that she tried to make Juan Verdades still alive at first. But we know that Juan Verdades fell in love with Araceli, and Araceli did the same. She also fell in love with Juan Verdades. Let's complete listening.
To be alone with him. She even began to wish she might end up marrying the handsome young foreman. Araceli continued to work on the plan she and her father had made, but she now had a plan of her own as well.
That's all for this part of today. We know in the next part that Araceli will ask from Juan Verdades to bring all the apples of Imendania. At first, Juan Verdades will refuse her request. Then he thinks, well, how can he do this order for Araceli? He brought a carriage and he carried and put all the apples of Mandanarian on this carriage and take it to Araceli and give it to Araceli. But he thought how he can tell his owner as the owner of his ranch, the owner of the ranch. I mean Don Ignacio, what he can do if he asked him. This will know together in the next session. Any question for this part, grade 6? We are going to read these pages. Do you have any question? I'll open the mic for all of you. Do you have any question?
Yeah, no.
No, Mister.
Yes.
No.
Muhammad Bayer, you have a question? Yes, Muhammad.
What means
Yes.
the
Buenos
Spanish
dias,
word?
señorita.
Buenos, this one. Good
Good
morning,
morning.
miss.
Good morning, madam. or miss.
Good morning, miss. Okay.
Okay, and
Buenos dias.
dawn.
Dawn.
The one that you highlighted, dawn.
This is the beginning of the day. Beginning of the day. Okay.
Like sunrise?
The morning,
Yes.
yes. It means the morning. Okay.
After sunrise?
The beginning of the day, it means the morning, Muhammad. Okay. After the sunrise. Yes.
Okay,
Okay. What else?
okay.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yes.
Mahmoud, do you have a
Following.
question? Mahmoud, do you have a question?
No.
Okay. Abdurrahman Muhammad, do you have a question?
No, I want to read.
Okay, we'll start reading because we didn't read from the beginning. Yes, yesterday we start, but we don't
Yes.
complete. Okay, I think that you were the first one.
I
Yes.
didn't read.
Yes, you were the first one
No,
yesterday.
no one,
Okay, well,
no one read
all of you will read.
yesterday.
All of you will read now. Okay.
Okay.
Before we move with the text, let's discuss together with the question that we have about this part. Okay, are you ready? If you know the answer, raise your hand, please.
Okay.
I'll share it with you now.
Okay.
You can see it in front of you.
Yes.
Okay, I mean
Yes.
white page,
Yeah.
white page.
Yes.
Yes, we can
Okay.
see the white page.
Okay,
Yes, I can see.
Yes. Yes.
okay.
Yes, we
The
can
first
see.
question that we have, I move the camera on the other side to be able to see. What did Don Arthur's wife do when he told her about the pet? Yes, Ali. Ali Amr. Yes.
Yes, miss.
Yes. The first question. What did Don Arthur's wife do when he told her about the pet?
She started to cry
Yes.
because she knew that he will lose.
Yes, well done. As we said, can read this answer? She began to cry as she was, read, Ali, read this.
She began to cry as she was worried about losing their ranch.
Yes, excellent. Thanks so much. Question number 2. Who was Araceli? Who was Araceli?
Mr. Can answer?
Mr. No.
Okay,
Hello.
I
Can
can
answer
focus.
number 2?
Okay, Muhammad, yes, yes. Yes, Muhammad, yes.
Who was Araceli? She is
Yes,
Don
Araceli.
Artelo's daughter.
She was Don Arthur's daughter,
Yes,
yes.
she is Don Artelo's daughter.
Okay, can you read this?
Daughter, daughter.
She
Read
was Don
Muhammad.
Arthur.
Don Arthur's
She was
daughter?
Don Arthur's daughter. Don Arthur's daughter.
Yes.
She was a very bright and she was very bright and lively young
Woman, thank you. Sorry, I mute because it is other sounds.
Dad.
Okay, question number 3. What did Araceli do to help her father to win the bet? Yes, Miles.
Yes.
Yes, question number 3.
She suggested
She-
to her
she-
father
She suggested,
to her father that he may make an excuse
yes,
for Don Ignacio to sit to live
stay-
in Don
to
Ignacio
stay-
for 2 weeks.
yes, to stay at his house.
Don Ignacio's 2
House, yes.
weeks. Yes.
Okay, can you read the answer?
Araceli suggested to her father to make up some
Araceli suggested
excuse
to her father, yes,
to make up some excuse for them all to spend 2 weeks at Don Ignacio's house.
thanks, Miles, thank you so much. Question number 4. What was the excuse that Don Arthur told to Don Ignacio? Muhammad Duhair.
Yes.
Yes.
My men are mending the walls of my house and giving them a fresh coat of whitewash.
Okay, you said the quotation, you need to change the pronouns. Okay,
Yes.
you can say that his men.
Told, yes, Don Arthur told him that he hired some men to mend
Yeah.
his wall to give them a fresh coat of whitewash.
Yes, excellent, Muhammad. Can you read this answer, please?
Okay. Don Arturo told Don Ignacio that there were some men mending the walls of his house and whitewashing them.
Excellent, thanks so much. These are all the questions that we have today. Now we are going to be period please, and I can ask the one who doesn't participate with me in answering the question. So I can ask Ryan to start. Abrahman, you answer with me today, yes? Yes, Abrahman. Okay, let me give the chance for the others. Okay, Ryan, can you start reading and share with you the base story?
Start what? Can I start what?
And from the beginning of the story.
Okay. One late, okay, but okay. One late summer day, a group of wealthy ranchers was gathered on the
Rancheros.
rancheros means the owner of a field
Yes,
was gathered on the village plaza,
Plaza.
joking and laughing.
Yes.
Plaza, joking and laughing and discussing events on their ranches. One of the men, whose name was Don Ignacio, had a fine apple tree on his land.
Thanks, Ryan. Only four lines for each one to give the chance for all the class. Okay. Thanks so much, Ryan. Okay, Adam.
Yes, Mister.
The rancher.
Sorry,
Okay, huh?
the what?
The rancher, this one from here.
The rancher called the apple tree El Mazam, El Mazam, no,
El Manzano. El Manzano Rian.
El Manzano Real,
Yes.
no tree on his land.
The
rancher would
royal
call it
apple tree.
the royal apple tree and was extremely proud of it. It had been planted by his great grandfather, and there was something about the soil it grew in and the way the afternoon sun struck in it that made the apple tree flourish.
Thanks,
It gave
Adam.
sweeter
That's
and
enough. That's enough news. Thanks so much. We can ask another one to read. Karim. Yes, Karim. Good mic, please.
Yes, Miss.
Complete reading.
Mister, I don't hear from Adam anything. Can you, Mister? Where did he stop?
It gave from here. It gave.
Okay. It gave sweeter and
Sweeter.
and
Sweeter
more
and more.
more
Flavorful.
flavorful fruit than any other tree in the city around
Roundabout. Yes. Every
rancher for miles around known about Al-Manzaril.
Al-Manzanriya.
Al-Manzaril.
Yes.
And each year they all hoped Don Ignacio
Yes.
would give them a small basket of its sweet fruit.
Sweet fruit. Thanks, Karim. The one who didn't participate in answering also. We can, okay. Okay, Hashim. Hashim Safwan. Hashim, what are you?
Yes.
Yes, Hashim. Complete reading. Okay, complete reading is.
Mr. Ayos, I didn't hear him because of my internet. Where did he stop?
Oh my God. Okay, you can start from and so each. This one.
And so each of the ranchers asked Don Ignacio how the fruit of the apple tree was doing.
Turn on your cameras, Hashim.
To each one, Don Ignacio.
Hashim, your cameras.
Okay. This is okay.
Yes.
And so each of the ranchers asked Don Ignacio how the fruit of the apple was doing. To each one, Don Ignacio replied, "It's doing beautifully, amigo."
As the word amigo, as we said, it means friend. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Beautifully. My foreman takes perfect care of the tree, and every evening.
What does it mean by foreman, Hashim? What does it mean by foreman?
His worker.
The leader of the workers. Okay, the leader of the workers. Yes, huh?
And every evening he reports how the fruit is ripening.
Ripening, what does it mean?
Ripening.
Ready to eat. It means ready to eat.
Ready
Okay?
to eat.
Thanks, Hashim. Ryan, the next.
Mister, I have. I
Huh?
read.
You read, oh, sorry, you read.
I
Sorry.
read.
You start this one. Abdurrahman Islam. Abdurrahman Muhammad, sorry, Abdurrahman Muhammad. Abdurrahman Muhammad. Can you read?
Yes, miss.
Yes, Abdurrahman. When Don
Wait.
Ignacio.
Wait. When Don Ignacio said when Don Ignacio said this to his friend Don Arturo, the other man replied, "Do you mean to say, Don Ignacio, that you don't tend your your magnif your magnificent tree
Magnificent, magnificent.
magnificent
Tree.
magnificent tree yourself? How can you have much
How
faith
can you
in
have such faith?
such faith in your employee? Maybe he's not doing all he says he is. Maybe he's not telling you the truth."
The truth. Thanks, Abdurrahman. Mu'min Ayman. Mu'min. Can you read Mu'min? Mu'min Ayman, where are you?
Mr. Now's the break. The
It's
period
time to
finished.
break. Okay, no problem. We are going to finish our session. I hope that you understood everything. Do you have any problem for this part of the story? We get it before I move. Do you have any question? Do you have any question?
No.
You
No.
understood everything till
No,
now in
sir.
the story? Okay,
Yes.
alhamdulillah. I'm waiting for the what subject that you have?
After the break, we have
Math.
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 Okay. Mr. S is
We
always
have math quiz. Our get ready for my family.
he came in on time or he comes on time or late, Mr. S.
No, he comes on time, but
After the break, yes, after the break.
yes.
Okay. So I can give the host to Miss.
Bye.
Okay, goodbye, my dear.
Bye.
Goodbye. See you later. inshallah.
Give the host to Miss Iman.
Yes, okay. Give the
Bye.
house as a host. But before I give the host, let me make mute for all of you to avoid any problem. Okay. Thanks so much.